Hello, bear with me as I try to deliver this message to you about the great awakening of the mind, reality being rewritten, right? This is elemental evolution, right? This is acceleration. So let's tap in, turn on, and tune in. Take a deep breath with me. Because we're about to step into not just another transit, this is a timeline shift. So on April 25th, right, Uranus entered Gemini for the first time in like over 80 years, right? And it's going to remain there until 2033. And when Uranus moves, nothing stays the same, okay? I just want you to understand that. Nothing stays the same. So let's ground that in first, right? The great awakener. Uranus is disruption, right? It is shock. It is awakening. It is innovation. It is rebellion. It is the force that breaks patterns that have gone stagnant, right? Uranus does not ask for permission. It interrupts. It reveals. It liberates, right? So individually, it shows you where you need freedom, right? Collectively, it shows us where systems are no longer sustainable. So wherever Uranus goes, expect movement, right? So now we have Gemini, right? The nervous system of society, right? Let's talk about Gemini. Gemini governs communication, language, thought patterns, information, media, technology, transportation, education, social interaction, curiosity, and our nervous system, right? So Gemini is how we think about things, how we speak about things, right? How we connect, right? How we process reality, right? So when Uranus enters Gemini, it does not change the world, okay? It changes how we perceive the world, okay? Now Earth's shift, right? From physical to mental revolution. From 2018 until now, Uranus has been in Taurus, and Taurus governs money, security, food, housing, resources, stability, the physical world, etc., 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 right? So we have spent years watching stability break down, right? Financial system shifted, housing's changed, work culture transformed, the definition of security completely rewritten, right? So now Uranus leaves the physical and enters the mental. And this is where it gets wild, okay? Because now the disruption is no longer just external, it's internal. As within exudes on out. That's what it's all about. It is perception, right? It is truth. It is narrative. So what does this mean psychologically, right? Uranus in Gemini is going to rewire the human mind, not slowly, rapidly, right? Psychologically, this can look like sudden changes in your belief systems, questioning everything you thought was true, shorter attention spans, right? Faster thinking, information overload, increased anxiety if not grounded, right? Rapid learning, multiple identities or paths at once, right? Difficulty staying in one lane, curiosity becoming survival. So this is evolution in motion. You are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to adapt to the change, right? So the real world reflection. Okay, so anyways, these allergies are kicking my ass. But either way, we're going to see massive shifts in AI, technology, media, and journalism, right? Social platforms, education systems, right? Transportation, digital economies, communication styles, information flow, right? Truth itself becomes a battlefield, not territory, narrative, right? Who controls information controls perception. And Uranus in Gemini is here to disrupt that control. Yes, right? We need it, right? History repeats with evolution. So the last time Uranus was in Gemini, the world was in massive communication revolution. World War II era, radio expansion, aviation advancement, global messaging, propaganda shaping public thought. Now we fast forward, right? We're not fighting for the land the same way. We are fighting for mind share, right? This time, the battlefield is information, it's influence, it's perception, it's belief. What's happening, right? The preview we already had, we already felt this. Between mid-2025 and late 2025, Uranus briefly stepped into Gemini. So think back, what conversations have shifted? What ideas started forming? What technology caught your attention? And what changed in how you communicate? Think about all this AI shit, right? That is just a preview. Now it's the full experience because Uranus is in Gemini. Do you get this? Do you get this flow? Right? So the elements, let's break this down, right? The way that we do. Because this is not just air. This is all elements evolving. So air, Gemini rules air. Air is thought, language, perception, communication. So air is asking, are you thinking for yourself or repeating what you have been told? Air evolves when information becomes wisdom. Take that in. Then we have the fire element, right? Fire is action. With so much mental stimulation, right? Air spreads fire ablaze, right? So fire is asking, what are you actually doing with what you are learning? Because knowledge without action becomes just noise, right? So fire evolves when curiosity becomes creation. Take that in. Then we have the earth element, right? Earth is about grounding. And this is where people will struggle, right? Because information will move faster than the body can process. So earth is asking, are you grounded in reality or lost in information, overload, stimulation? You know what I'm saying? Right? So earth evolves when you anchor yourself to routine, body awareness, and tangible life without creating so much strife. You know what I mean? Because life could take a bite out of you, right? Either way. Then we have water. Water is emotion. And with so much mental stimulation, emotions can become dysregulated, right? So water is asking, are you processing what you feel or distracting yourself with more input, right? Water evolves when emotion becomes intuition instead of overwhelm. And then we got ether. Ether is the field, the unseen, right? The energetic web connecting everything, everyone and their mother to each other, right? So this is where Uranus and Gemini becomes quantum, because thoughts are not just thoughts, they are frequency, right? So ether is asking, what are you broadcasting through your thoughts? Because in this era, thought becomes reality faster than ever. As you think it shall be, right? And this is about the personal revolution happening within we, right? On a personal level. This is where your life becomes flexible or not. Right? You may change careers at this time, learn new skills, right? Develop even more, move locations, build multiple income streams, right? Because you have to, right? Meet people through digital spaces, reinvent yourself more than just once. This is not instability, this is adaptability. And the deepest truth of it all is this transit is not here to overwhelm you. It is here to liberate. The liberation requires your awareness. You cannot blindly consume anymore. You cannot passively exist anymore. And you cannot avoid thinking for yourself anymore. So stay curious. Try to be a little bit less reactive. Discern information. Not everything is truth just because a lot of people are freaking saying it, right? Slow your nervous system down. You do not need to keep up with everything. Focus your mind, because scattered energy creates scattered reality. And ask yourself, what am I learning? Why am I learning it? And how am I applying it? Right? This is not just a technological evolution. This is a consciousness evolution. And we're not just becoming more connected. We are becoming more aware of how connection shapes reality. And here's the truth I want to leave with you, right? Because I gotta go. In a world where information kind of moves at lightning speed, your greatest power will not be how much you know, but how deeply you understand, overstand. Because nothing is staying in the same. And that is exactly the point. That is what I have for you guys. Until next time, because the full moon is coming on Friday, and I'm going to have a video for you for that too. All right, until next time. Bye-bye.